your friends, we're never a bore. You haven't heard it like this before. Yes, it's time to explore the things we care for. And though your jaw may hit the floor, we're still the weirdos you adore. We're the weirdos next door.
Hello, this is Nobi, he, him.
And this is Nicole, they, she.
And together we are
The
Weirdos Next Door. Super awesome. Hey, hello everybody, all you weirdos out there. We have actually our first guest ever on the show. It's been a year, so it's like an anniversary show. Air high fives across the room. And our friend visiting is William. Say hello, William.
Hello, William.
Very good.
Good job.
So, William is a friend of ours that we've known for how long? Like 4 or 5 years, maybe. It's been a while.
Yeah, I think it's been like it was a couple of years before
Yeah.
the Thomas fire, so 2017ish,
Right.
2016ish.
Yeah, and then of course the 3 years of pandemicus.
Yeah.
And also depression troughs. I remember.
Exactly.
I remember like we kept trying to like every now and then we'd reach out to each other, go like, "Hey, I feel we want to," and then like it would would peter out.
Our depression cycles were off sync.
Yes.
That's all it was.
It's all
Like
about-
I was in a trough when you guys were on your way up, and when you all were on your way up or on your way down, I was climbing out. So.
See, we talk about that often, and for us, we tend to like either want to be both up, or at least one of us has to be up at some point to help kind of pull the other along. Right?
Or nothing. Yeah, or nothing gets done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
And then
there's
when
a-
I'm up, I'm the bad texter. I don't text anyone back, so there's that. I suck at communicating. But like what we've been kind of chatting about today, because William's been here for a couple hours now. We've just been like talking shit, and like this is one of the things I love about our friendship is we always end up getting like super deep and vulnerable, like super easily.
Yeah.
And like I love it.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. I do. That's one of the things I love about our friendship is we just like get right in there.
I do too, because like what we've been talking about, like, I don't do that with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then when I do it, that might be why I vanished for a long time. I was like, all right, that's enough vulnerability for a while. I don't need to see them again for a few months. Like, that's good. That's good.
Well, that's enough.
That's enough.
No, and I totally feel that. But yeah, so we've been talking about like some of our early relationship experiences and things that we have learned from since that. So it's been a very interesting discussion.
Nicole also loves cooking for you.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
I thought you just loved cooking.
No, I mean I do love cooking, but you're like one of my favorite people to cook for because like you're like my food ego stroker.
You're so
Like
demonstrative.
you're so enthusiastic.
That time, like in the kitchen, you do like Nicole said, "Here, taste this," and you're just like, "Yes!" and you're like fist pumping, and we're like, "Oh, let me taste it too. What you put something magical in there? What did you do?"
Oh, I'm glad. I'm really glad.
Yes, appreciative imbiber.
Yeah. And we also have like one of those friendships that we're always able to pick up like really easily when we go through periods of time like without talking to each other.
Totally, yeah, that's really important.
Yeah.
Oh.
So much appreciated. We appreciate you sticking with us through all of the past few years.
Of course, yeah, I appreciate feel the same. So.
There's been some crazy stuff.
There's been some
really
shit.
has.
So much shit.
Yeah.
But, well, what do we want to talk about? Let's keep talking.
I'm just gonna follow y'all's lead. I don't know where we're going.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know either.
What's our plan?
Well, you were talking about stuff. Do we want to talk about politics going on today?
That's like a super vulnerable level to now be recording.
We already talked about it.
Talking about our high school exes and,
Oh, yeah.
not
and
that.
being shitty partners.
No, I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about not what we were previously talking about, but current state of affairs.
Totally, I'm down with that.
Or a recent movie you've seen, or
I mean, well, what y'all's the whole goal of today was to discuss y'all's marijuana grow.
well, hell yeah. Okay, so I've probably mentioned this. I haven't really done a specific marijuana like a grow episode, but I've talked about it, and I've talked about how I've lost so many crops because of this area. First of all, is like a great, it's very fertile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very fertile, and just stuff just wants to grow. We just need to give it water because there's not enough water here, right?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
If we just gave it water, things would grow like crazy. And when we're on our game, that's great. But you go outside right now,
It looks a little sad.
it's a wasteland.
Looks a little janky.
Like
It's all like tumbleweeds.
most of this part of the country, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not unique. It's not.
So
You're not special.
So one of the things that we're trying to do is we call sort of like a remove yourself to improve yourself, and that means we're taking ourselves out of the equation, like trying to do automated things or getting things that are already done,
Gotcha.
right?
Yeah.
So one of those is
That's
like
not meant to be a super dark like.
yeah, that's like take yourself out. It's like, we can do it. Take
But
yourself
it is
out.
kind of dark.
Take yourself out.
But it's not meant to be.
Well, it's like removing yourself from the processes where you're not necessary.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
if there's something that could replace me, but like still get everything
Right.
done that I
Yeah.
want to
So
get
like
done.
drip irrigation, water collection. We really got to like start harvesting the water where that rain when we do get rain.
We do. Yeah.
We've got this 360-gallon tank
Uh-huh.
that I got from some guy in who went to
That's
Santa Paula, right?
No, it wasn't. It was outside Camarillo.
I feel like it was out. Anyway, it was one of those big cube things, that you see
Yeah, I know
in
exactly.
in sci-fi movies.
I know exactly what you're talking
props
about.
in warehouses usually, or shuttle bays. What? That's everybody understands. Those things, those big square cubes.
Yeah, and sometimes they're in like an aluminum cage.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Ours is in an aluminum cage.
Yeah.
They're super light. They take up a lot of space and they look industrial. So
Yeah.
they're perfect. But we need to figure out. We need to get like gutters put on, and then we can start collecting rain, and that can help water the chicks. I got a little bit of stuff, rain gutter, about like 20 feet of it just fell off this house. Everything else got trashed. So it was a crack house when we moved in.
It was.
And so I was thinking of put it on the back of the chicken run because I just did a slanted roof.
Yep.
So I can just have the water run off there and catch that and be auxiliary to their water dish. I don't know. I'll open this. I just had the energy or the spoons to make their feeder. Do you see that feeder out there?
Yeah.
Little tube.
The little tube there?
I think you could use just stuff like that too for like improving your gutter and like rain collection system. Like it'd be really easy. Like,
Yeah.
You don't need more rain gutters. Like we could set something up pretty quickly. That'll help.
Well, I was thinking like just getting like some PVC pipe and then just
Yeah.
running it through the table saw and just cutting like
Yeah, just cut it
a
long
quarter
ways.
a quarter chunk out of it.
Yeah.
And then just like stick it up, nail it to the. But it might look shitty if we did that for the front.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want that looking out on the main street.
Yeah, I was like, we can do whatever we want on the backside, but can we do like that badass copper gutters on the front?
Do we want copper? Because let's get a quote. Just the front.
Just the front, just right there.
Like either copper or black, or
I would prefer black.
I just think the copper would be a nice pop of color.
You'll have to show me that what that looks like.
Anywho.
Anyhow.
Yeah,
So
so water collection and irrigation.
Right. And that's one of the reasons. That's like the main reason why you came over, William, is to help us get started, or help be like an accountability partner in growing some weed, because I've fallen off the map, and just like you're committed to come once a week, just like make sure I'm keeping on it, and so I think it'll work. I'm hoping. So like once we get like stuff that's starting to flower, we can actually start germinating another crop,
Yeah.
right? So we can rotate out.
Rotate in and out, and keep stuff going.
So I figure we'll probably start with maybe like 3 or 4. I could probably germinate more than that.
Well, yeah, if you have the room for it, but I think like 3 or 4 plants for now would be fine. Like
Yeah.
I'm so new to it, like I just
Well,
like making my own hash out of it, but I'm not in.
I'll do 2 of the skunk, and then
Good.
if they get big enough, you can just take one to your place and see how it grows up there. We do
That'd be
some
great.
comparison, kind of A/B.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool, and then we could just see what are like the different environmental.
We
factors
tried to do
for it.
that when I had I had like 60 or 80 shake seeds. Remember how many we found? There was so many of them.
I didn't know it was that many. That was incredible.
Yeah, and so I gave you 6.
And
I gave 6. I gave 6.
yeah.
And I gave my friends across the street from my old place. I gave them 2 or 3.
It was, yeah, and I'm just like, I don't have a green thumb. I'm terrible at growing, so I remember I was like really excited. It's like, okay, let's do it. Was that in 2020? Was that like COVID or was that pre-COVID?
Was it? It was just the beginning of COVID.
It was like, yeah, it was.
So we would meet outside and here,
Right,
and we
right,
kept
right.
our distance.
Yeah.
We didn't necessarily wear
Yeah,
masks.
it was that summer, and there was a massive heat wave, like right
Right.
after the handoff, also.
And I was living in a different place there, and it was like
Yeah.
super hot.
Yours like cooked and fried.
And it just fried. I remember like, I think I kept them green for maybe a week.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't know if I'm overwatering them or what, but then they just wilted and were gone, and they just got cooked. They just got cooked. And that, well, I think the weirdest part about it is like I just didn't know what the fuck I was doing. That's like I was the part there. So
I think some of any of the ones that I kept did they end up being harvested or did I lose them also?
I think we lost most of the shake seeds. I mean, they were shake seeds. They weren't exactly the best genetics to begin with.
So maybe the shake seeds that I have like what 6 of them I think.
I mean, just try them.
You know, just germinate them and
totally see what comes out.
and then throw a couple at you to put up wherever you're putting it. So we're gonna do an indoor grow. I'll germinate some seeds today, and then probably like the next time you come, we're gonna start like.
Yeah,
Like-
I will have cleaned out that room and picked up some 420 soil.
420, yeah.
We still have some nutrient stuff. If that's a route we want to go.
But honestly, like
Um,
just the one bag of just filling a pot with
the 420,
420
there's
recipe.
a lot of what it needs.
We don't have to add anything else.
Oh really?
Really, the plants go crazy. You can augment. You can help boost. Give us some extra. Like let's give us more vegetative growth or more more flat, more bloom, what have you. But First of all, they're called weeds for a reason. They're essentially weeds.
Exactly.
They do grow.
They grow all over the place. And then, yeah, I think it'd be nice in the springtime, like we were talking about, to start some of those land race seeds that I have. It'd be really cool to see if some more proficient growers can actually get them to go. Because I did okay, but
Yeah.
I'd like more practice with them.
Yeah. And you saw my mushroom grow there on the kitchen counter.
I saw it there. I didn't know what that was until you just told me earlier.
Yeah.
That they grow
What
some
is that
shrooms.
science project
Yeah,
they have,
those are
they
nice.
have over there?
That is a all-inclusive, like turnkey psilocybin mushroom growing kit. So it arrived like that. I just had to open it up, like poke a hole in the bag so that air could get in and could kind of balloon out, and just put it somewhere where there's indirect sunlight, so it can grow. Right now, it's in the process of turning all white. The mycelium
So
network is growing.
I don't know why mushrooms need sunlight. I didn't know they don't do any photosynthesizing, do they?
They need ambient sunlight.
Okay.
To
Do we
grow.
know why?
It's part of the process of the mycelium. Mycelium was like all these like this little network.
The
of,
little
like,
filament of like tiny threads. Yeah.
and that's actually supposedly the largest.
It's like one of the largest. It can be some of the largest living organisms on the planet. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I think there's one that's actually like spans like Siberia that's all connected, and as part I got two books on Kindle and one here, this mushroom cultivator from Paul Stamets up north. The process is the mycelium networks kind of keep like taking all the nutrients and stuff,
Right.
and there has to be the right conditions
Uh-huh.
for it to start fruiting.
Gotcha.
Right?
I'm-
Temperature, humidity, amount of light, just because like I think it helps. The sunlight helps kind of like break down something.
Yeah, I'd love to learn more about that because the mycelium is typically underground. So I'm wondering how it knows if it's getting ambient sunlight. a
Well,
lot.
it has to come to the surface in order for it to like create those nodes.
Right, but
Right.
I'm wondering because if they're not photosynthesizing, what is it that makes them what is necessary? Are they directly dependent on sunlight, or does sunlight do something to the environment around them that they notice and then they fruit?
Yeah.
Like I guess that's my nerdy science curiosity that I get
It's
about
fair. The
every
biological,
living
how does this
thing.
actually
Why does
work?
it exactly like how does it work this way? Like, oh,
How do you survive?
yeah. Like why do you, if you don't photosynthesize, why the hell do you need sunlight?
Okay,
You weirdo.
there you go.
All right, tell me.
According to The Mushroom Cultivator, A Practical Guide to Growing Mushrooms at Home by Paul Stamets and J.S. Chilton.
Shameless plug.
The three major steps in the growing of mushrooms parallel three phases in their life cycle. They are 1. Spore collection, spore germination and isolation of mycelium or tissue cloning. 2. Preparation of inoculum by the expansion of mycelial mass on enriched agar media and then on grain. Implantation of grain spawn into composted and uncomposted substrates or the use of grain as a fruiting substrate.
Mm-hmm.
Then the third stage is the fruit body,
Mm-hmm.
and that's mushrooms initiation and development, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mycelium is a vast network of interconnected cells that permeates the ground and lives perennially.
And in some places where, if that's the case, like there's some places where they get so little sunlight.
They only produce fruit bodies under optimum conditions of temperature, humidity, and nutrition, right?
Uh-huh.
In most part, the parent mycelium has but one recourse for ensuring the survival of the species: to release enormous numbers of spores. This is accomplished through the generation of mushrooms, right?
Still nothing about
I'm waiting
sunlight.
on the sunlight piece.
I'm looking.
Like, but the sunlight.
Not to say that it makes I get like pretty much everything needs sunlight in some way. I'm just kind of like, okay, why?
But the sunlight though.
All right, look it up on your phone.
We can find it. It's not. I mean,
Now we need to know the answer, and I
Yeah.
need some more. Uh-oh. Woo!
I'm sorry for pausing. Like, wait, stop.
Oh no, it's fine.
This needs to be this. We cannot move on until we know.
I mean, sun isn't even in the index.
No, I said look it up on your phone.
I know, but I'm just saying. Just saying.
Mushrooms.
I just read the instructions.
And I'm just that
I
sort of
don't
dude. It's
even
like,
know where my
okay,
phone is.
these are the instructions.
Where's my phone?
Prove it.
Well, why do I need to do that?
Still just the kid who's like, but why?
They do not require
but why?
sunlight to grow, according to the San Francisco Gate Federation. Most mushrooms don't, it says, because they don't have chlorophyll. Can they live without sunlight? I don't know. A lot of this is saying they'll grow without any sort of sunlight. So I wonder if ambient sunlight just helps keep, because it's in a closed container, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it just helps keep the humidity and everything in check. It's like it'll warm up a little bit, and then
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would imagine so. The condensation.
For
levels.
optimal growth, mushrooms require the right amount of light and the right temperatures. Most mushrooms prefer shade or dark places, which is why you'll often find them on forest floors. However, some mushrooms can grow in part to full sun, such as those you may find growing on manure in a field.
Oh, we're finding some controversy.
You know, it's like does not
Google
require-
mainstream
They
to-
don't chlorophyll. They don't have chlorophyll.
Yeah, because they're not. So then
Mushrooms don't need
She's a
light.
gynecologist.
Mushrooms don't
Excuse
need light.
me, you need to come back. We have questions.
we have to talk to you right now. You need
We
to-
have questions that need to be answered
And-
immediately.
so-
This is very important.
Mushrooms don't need light except during their fruiting period.
Oh. So to reproduce, they need light, but to grow, they don't? I don't know.
Lizzo will get you there.
Professional growers do 12 hours of sunlight on 12 off.
So it's just they know it works, but they don't know why.
Well,
Or they can't explain why.
it has
That's
been
fine.
it has been known to some have been known to produce a little bit more in the complete darkness, but then they're like it's not. I think it has to be the conditions where there would be like air and people and things moving because the spores just drop down from the gills, and so that's how they spread. That's how they.
I think that's one of the things that's just still so cool about like nature and stuff is like, okay, we through experimentation we've seen that sunlight works. It helps these things, but they don't have chlorophyll, so we don't know why. Like that's what's so fun about shit like that. It's like no, it's helpful. Science can't explain it, but something magical's happening there.
Yeah.
That's usually where my insistent curiosity leads me to.
It's the Fae people.
Just don't exactly.
But we are talking about the grow
Yeah,
for the weed.
which definitely needs sunlight or some sort of And this late in the season, I was concerned about like I was saying, should we do it all indoor? And you're like, no, there's enough light here, so that's just good to learn that stuff.
We'll start it indoors because it does grow faster if you do like 24/7 light.
Mm-hmm.
I'll program it to turn off during our peak hours of 5 to 8 p.m.
Gotcha.
And that's where we get charged like
But way
a
too
shit
much.
ton. Yeah. So I think that's fine.
Awesome. It'll be a lot of fun.
And then when they do get bigger and they're starting like maybe when they start blooming, we can like put them out in the sun. Just let the sun do it.
That,
If
yeah.
If we basically just switch the day where it's on from like midnight to noon,
Yeah.
and then off from noon to midnight.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, but the problem with that is I tried doing that, where I like do like it's light up at night when the rates are low, but like during the day I need to go check on them and it's like pitch black.
It needs
in
to be
there.
super, yeah, because then you're gonna mess up your photo
5 to
periods.
5.
Well,
Like, because it has to be off by 5 p.m.
that's all, yeah,
So, what, 5 to 5?
probably.
Oh yeah, they don't care if it's at noon or 5 a.m. when the light comes on.
Oh yeah, the plants don't.
Plants
The plants don't.
Just the electric company.
Yeah.
Has like some.
Well,
issues.
and me, I don't want to be checking on them at 2 in the morning every day. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. We're having to go in with like a flashlight or something.
yeah.
But I've had some successful grows.
Oh, I know you. I've had some. Yeah.
And actually, I do have a growing Instagram, and then if I recall correctly, it's GRO dot daddy, DADDY.
Grow daddy.
Grow daddy, grow.daddy, but without the W. That's so lame. I should really try to see if I can get a better name for that.
Well, I think you should try to get something you could sell, like create a weed growing product you could sell under that name. That's a very marketable name right there, dude.
Oh, that's true. Grow daddy.
Grow daddy soil.
That's got to be taken. There's so many.
It has to be. Yeah.
There's so many URLs that I've bought. Go like, oh, that's a great business idea. I never ever do anything with it. This is part of my ADHD.
That's a fun one when you're just bombarded with ideas and you're like, okay, cool. What's the next idea? But never get a project done. I do that too.
That's terrible. It really is. We're the worst.
It's better than not having any ideas.
That's true. That's I do try to write them all down, or just put them in my or at the very least, just text it to Nicole. We'll do that. We're like, oh, I don't want to forget this. I'll just text it to. And we know what it's for. So what else?
Oh, I just found it. There you go. I just hit you up with my hash making Instagram.
we're all just connecting via like.
Yeah, by our secret pretend lives.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you want to share your?
Yeah, it's a foolish melt.
It's foolish.
Yeah, FOOLISH melt. MELT. Foolish melt.
I see. Foolish Milk is now following Grow.daddy. Okay.
Excellent.
So awesome. Connecting on various levels. And we initially met via rope.
At Trist, right?
Was it Tristology?
Was it Tristology or was it via FET?
I forget.
Or maybe
I think we met at a rope social.
I think it was a rope social too.
At
Yeah.
Tristology, yeah.
Yeah. When at their old place. Right? Remember when it was in the back?
Oh yeah, you would go upstairs and there was like the balcony. Oh, we
The
got so
little
crowded.
courtyard one?
Right.
People were like spilling out in the
People were-
courtyard.
yeah.
Yes,
Like-
it was just pretty much.
Because the downstairs was just like bedroom attire, like robes and lingerie, and then you would go upstairs, and that's like where the kink stuff was, and so that's where we were supposed to be. But you put 8 people in there trying to tie each other up, like
Yeah.
I don't know how to.
Oh, no,
I
that
could probably
was-
figure
that
out how
was-
to
that
tie
was-
8
that
people
was
up
a-
together.
Oh yeah, that was
but-
the second place
That was
already.
the second place, right? That was one of the. Oh, this was in the back alley.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the one that was in the courtyard off of Main.
Yeah. That's the.
That was only a second story, right?
Yeah. Straight up the stairs.
Wait, did
I
she have a shop downstairs?
No.
Tristology?
I'm probably. You guys got.
Yeah,
I'm all messed up.
It's been so long.
There was the one that was in the parking lot.
Right.
and that was on this side of Maine, and then
Right, on the beach side of Maine.
yeah, and then
Like
the other
towards
one was
Thompson.
in the courtyard, but you would just go straight up the stairs.
Oh, right,
down
right.
the hallway.
Yeah, there's that one too.
Yeah.
Right, but in that they weren't there very long though, right? It does. Royland, you're getting a lot of free footage right now because we love you.
We do.
I can edit all that out too.
Oh,
That's
But
an
yeah.
issue.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember how long they were doing the meetups there.
it took me a while to finally go to one, just because like I've been in a rope for like really like over 2 decades now, and like but coming back to like the part of the world where I grew up in, it's like I don't know if I want to be putting my face out here yet,
Yeah.
and so, but I'm
It's a
really
deceptively small town area.
yeah, and but after doing so, it's just like, oh right, there's a lot of good people here, and it's worth stepping out a little bit, like, and yeah, it's just been great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't remember if I was there with a partner or not. I think I was coming alone for quite a while. I didn't.
Yeah, I think once you were there with like you were with a couple, and they were asking you to tie the wife, I believe.
Oh, right.
That was upstairs at the
Yeah,
second
yeah,
floor,
yeah.
Feels like a lifetime ago.
Right, because I remember I walked by and you done a much more elaborate tie than most of the people that were there. Like it was clear that you two had been knew what you were
stuff.
doing,
Yeah.
and
Well, he
you know, I didn't want to like go in there and be like, I've been tying for this. I didn't want to be that dude. But so when I walked by and I saw that, I was like, oh, I want to get to know them.
That dude.
Okay, I was just like, they've been doing this for a while. Like,
We've actually made a number of friends. We have a number of friends that still stick with us. That's been around that have like met through rope, but not just rope, but like watching me tie. Because
Yeah.
when I tie, I sometimes just like forget everything and just focus on what my hands are doing, which is why I like tying, because it helps quiet the mind, right?
mm-hmm.
It's also why you like to be tied, right? It helps kind of quiet the. It's very much being tied. The sensation of that is sort of like when you swaddle a baby, and so it's sort of like gives you that feeling of being like safe and all warm and inside back in the womb.
And then when you add some suspension to it, there's also the struggle and relaxation and suffering.
And the giving in to the, like being a rope top or whatever you want to call it. Like, it's amazing when you're with someone who's like willing to let you just. I am going to space out and just focus on knots for anywhere from 30 seconds to 10 minutes to whatever sort of tie we're going to do. And when somebody like allows me to do that, it's so awesome.
Yeah.
Because it is just like this. It's such a way to escape and relax, not just for the person being tied, but for the person doing the tie.
It can
It's
be
just
very co-regulating.
yeah.
Which is like very, very nice and very connective.
When I first started tying, I had been freshly retired and
Freshly dumped.
freshly broken up. We broke up. It was mutual. She just needed more space. I took all her shit. Oh yes.
Okay, freshly uncoupled.
Freshly uncoupled.
Like nothing better to do. Nothing to do. So I went looking for stuff because I was fucking lonely.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I came up here from LA and then to be closer to my, Santa Barbara socialite girlfriend. I was kind of halfway to here and like a gig that was like, in the valley, right? So I was like, oh, this works out. I looked at a place like the 101. Where did it go? Where did it come closest to the water? Ventura. That's how I picked it. And I found a beach house. And I'll post some pictures on our Facebook and Instagram if you want to see. But I live literally on the water.
Nice.
Because sometimes the waves would crash into my patio or onto my driveway.
Yep.
So, I was born in L.A. and then my first couple years I was in Echo Park, and then my mom met the guy who raised me, my dad, and he lived up in Ventura, and so he got us a place up there right on Pierpont and Seaward, like I think 4 or 5 houses down. Oh, yeah. And so we were there up until 89. So I was like 12 by then, 11 or 12 when we left. But yeah, so my formative years were right there off of Pierpont.
I was on that tank. That looks like a bunker. It was on the sand.
I know the house you're talking about. Like
That was mine for a year.
That's hilarious because like we would go down and play on the beach and walk up and down, and we would always like. I know those houses very well.
Right.
Like, I just know them really well. That's really cool. That's so funny.
We had one date there
Really?
before he left. Before he moved out of that one.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That was
Like
great.
the
So cool.
next to last week before he moved out. Because I remember the week, like the last week of April, his family, like entire family, including the ex-wife, came up and helped him move.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't see him for like a week, and then we had like another 6-day long date. But that one was with the other partner.
With the other partner.
Yeah.
So it was me and two cute people. Freshly moved into the what do we call that place? It was
The bungalow.
It was the beach bungalows. Yes, I had to move down because of rent, so I went from the beach house
To the bungalow.
To the bungalow, which
Yeah.
was like part way up the lane, right? And it was actually a duplex. I was just renting it, but it was like a heck of a lot cheaper than what I was paying.
Yeah.
I pretty much blew my like nest egg thingy. Not my retirement, but like my little get out of the country kind of money.
Right, right.
It's like boom, gone in a year because like
Yeah,
a
that's
year's rent on the beach.
Yeah.
Not cheap.
not cheap and really important, but maybe not the most prudent.
Yeah.
Like, I think everybody needs to do something like that at some point in their life.
That
But
was
like,
my midlife crisis thing.
but
I
then
guess.
once you do it, you're like, shit. Like, I don't know if I should have done. But like
But
most of us
I-
got to do something like
I
that.
can't regret it.
Yeah.
No, you can't. It's just like it's so it brings. There's so much that it brings, but
Yeah.
it's like I don't want to do 2 or 3 of those. I've done it once. I don't want to repeat it.
Right.
Like it might be really valuable to do it again. But,
It marked a time in my life that I felt worthy of making permanent on my flesh
yeah.
with my tattoo that I designed.
Mm-hmm.
The other one I don't want to talk about. I was going through the breakup. That was
But that's what got you into rope, though. This is
What?
like what you got
Yes.
into rope, and then
Yes.
Yeah.
No, see, if you look at it, it's a triangle, or delta,
mm-hmm.
with a BDS emblem sitting in the middle of it, right? And each of the points have 17 in Roman numerals. So it was like my year of change thanks to BDSM.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you met me.
Of course,
And that
we met that year,
I know.
so I commemorated that.
I know.
you two are so sweet. It's awesome to see.
He just tolerates me.
For 5 years, that's
He
it takes
just-
a lot of sweetness
he
to
just hasn't
tolerate
been able to
anything
get rid
for
of
5
me.
years. Like, if it's tolerating, like, okay, there's something really worth tolerating here. Oh,
We just always joke that I just keep on coming back.
well.
I'm
Just
thank-
keep
I'm
on
thankful
showing up.
that you do.
I got into BDSM like in college, like in the late '90s, and it just kind of stuck with me there. And then when I used to climb a lot, and I remember playing with the rope, and like it was really fun. I like tying knots a lot, and then it wasn't too far of a step.
This makes my brain happy.
Yeah, it wasn't like
Yeah, it wasn't until looking back, is why did I latch on to rope so quickly? And I would look back and I wouldn't mind when the fishing line got all tangled up, because I could sit there for like a good 30, 40 minutes, an hour, just using my fingernails, just pull,
Just
untie.
teasing
I'm
it
not
out.
gonna cut it. I'm not gonna cut it. Just gonna wiggle it, and it's a little bit big, a little bit big. You know what I'm talking about, right? And all of a sudden it's like yes,
I mean-
just untying that knot, just so
It's-
satisfying.
So the guy I go diving and fishing with a lot, like we were talking about, he only has the use of one arm, and so I'm tying all the knots. And after like we were fishing partners for like a year, he was like, how are you so good at learning knots? He's like, you haven't been fishing for very long, but I could ask you to do a knot and you figure it out. Mm-hmm. And so I told him, I was like, I've been into bondage. I've been into rope bondage for 20 years now. Like I love playing with rope. I love tying. I love making rope. I just love the way it feels. And I am a snob. I think it should be natural. Like, right? I like natural fibers way more. But, I mean, not for rock climbing or whatever, but I love the tactile sensation of it and what it does for however many people you're getting involved with on it. So.
I don't mind synthetics. Like I have synthetic hemp that I use specifically for like any sort of like
your top lines,
dirty plays. Top lines, of course, for support because they're, they degrade evenly.
Yeah.
I'll have to show you let you hold some of my my synthetic rope.
And it's just like one of those. It's just like I think like once I learned how to start making my own rope, and that was not from kink related stuff. I was like, oh, I could take my favorite natural materials and use different weaves and thicknesses and whatnot, and make super strong top lines that are all natural now. Yeah. And I was just like, because I was a nerdy dude, and was like, I want to learn how to make stuff out of stuff I can't find in the store. So, we're talking about rope now. So.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I love it. Like
the rope and stuff.
Yeah.
It's been so long.
It really has been. Oh, I remember when we first started chatting, you invited me over.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like, sounds great. Let's see, this will be really fun to talk about rope. And you're like, so this is where I keep my rope. And I was like, beautiful. This is right. This is who I wanted to get to know around here.
I like how the way you said it. You like put your hand out like. So this is where I store my rope. Yeah. It's like oh.
Yeah, it was stunning. I was like, oh sweet. And you had dozens of hanks hanging up on the wall. There's a bunch right there in the corner. Is that jute?
That's the Moko jute and some Moko sheen. Actually, I bought out all of Moko's Moko sheen.
I love linen. Like that's my favorite material to use. And there's just so few rope makers in this country that you can get linen in. So like that's why I started making.
My preferred rope is the untreated
jute.
Moko jute.
Yeah, like this is stunning.
It's like 6 millimeter. I think it's 6. It's a 6 millimeter. And so I got those all raw, and we treated it.
And yeah,
I had you do a bunch of treating, didn't I? Thank you. I remember. Did you do any singeing?
Yeah, I did singeing, and then I also early pandemic was the last time I went through your whole rope kit and singed and oiled everything.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I need to do it again, and I found your mineral oil the other day. So
it's like it is so fun just to nerd out on something like that 2 people nerd out on. 3 people nerd out on so much.
Well,
it's just rope, but like, and you could tie somebody up with kind of anything and be safe with it, but there are people like us who just like, fuck, really nice rope is really nice.
Yeah.
And this is beautiful.
But then the $1.25 spool of like really shitty coconut rope.
Right.
Like super scratchy.
Right, and like, but it's like it's got its place for it, right?
Yeah.
It's like this or seesaw. Like, I mean, I don't use seesaw.
I wrapped that around
Sizal.
my fist like a glove and like punched.
And punch me with it.
Punch
I mean, of course, lots of foot torture options.
I have a spool of Amatsunawa or whoever, all organic like jute twine that I spun into a few hanks and a few lengths, and I should make some more, but I'm just so lazy now.
I'm so tired all the time.
It just takes so long to like hand crank out like
fuck.
Like 30, 40 meters of rope. It's oh shit. Like, should I just buy a spool of it already made? Like now that he's selling those now, I'm like,
yeah. We still have 2 more spools to process of the Moko sheen.
Yeah.
It's because it's just a lot of. If my partner wants to make rope with me, I probably would do it. But now it's like I have enough, and it'll be like special occasions from here on out.
Yeah, when you need to make a new kit or something.
Right. Like this is just for
me.
This thing.
Or,
right.
or like for like I want to make it for my blah
Right.
blah blah friend.
Yeah.
For you're gonna make it for my friend Nobi.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
okay.
Just like, all right, let's make
Yeah.
some. And I think I have a few spools of linen thread too.
I have not tied with any cottony.
Yeah, linen's just
products.
like, it's so, I think it's so deceptive in how strong it really is, just because it doesn't get used in this country very much. But it's like, it's on par with hemp, even stronger in some, like in some cases.
What's the feel like?
It depends. You can either, because it's processed differently. So when you take it off the plant itself, so you have wet spun and dry spun, and that's so you do a retting process, and then how you take the actual fiber off the plant is different than the process of pulling the fiber of
You
hemp.
said something retting?
A ret, yeah, retting.
And what is that?
So that's where you would take your stalks of linum. I can't remember the species, the genus is linum, and you take those and you get them wet and you let them naturally rot. And there's a certain spot where enough of the actual, like, I guess cellulose starts to rot, but the vertical fiber, the long running fibers haven't, and so it's just easier to process. And in different parts of the world, they do it differently. You could like submerge the stalks, like you bind and submerge the stalks, so they're just completely submerged for like a week or two, and that rots them out a little bit faster. And then, like, I think it's in Ireland, like Irish linen, which is, Irish flax. It's stacked up, and then the ambient humidity rots it, and then so you pull the fibers off it just produces a different feel. And then the way you spin it, you can either spin it while it's wet or spin it while it's dry. And dry spun obviously comes out like a little bit firmer, feeling kind of like this Moko sheen here. And then the wet spun comes out feeling a lot more like silky cotton, but with the same strength as your hemp.
Yeah.
But it's just that's just how nerdy, how far down the nerd hole you want to go. And it's got like a really nice. It comes out like kind of like a grayish silvery usually.
That's
sometimes
the Mocha machine that I have a bunch of.
Yeah, that's the one I have broken down the most.
It's beautiful. It's stunning rope. I've never used Moko sheen. I think you all have felt it here and at other places, but it's a phenomenal rope. Like
I always forget what different ones we have as far as our.
But I mean, I'm looking at like a half a kilometer of rope right here. This is a lot of rope.
It used to all be hanging on our wall.
No, can't do that right now.
We'll get back there.
That'll be it.
I want to get everything stretching out again. Maybe I'll hyperfixate and decide to singe and oil some rope tonight. Who knows?
It's just another way of it's just so fun. It's just another way of nerding out on rope. Like that's one of the reasons why I am now trying to learn more about jute, is just because you treat it so differently off the plant, and
as you use it, like it becomes very personal.
Exactly. Yeah, it becomes extremely personal, and
you've put in all this time and effort to break it into this exact point that you like how it feels, you like how it holds.
And like with my current partner now, it's one of the things is just like we're really into how it ends up smelling too. So it's like, oh, we got to be really careful because I don't want to wash everything every time.
Yeah.
Because it starts to like really hold these. I don't know, just another way like it holds
Odors.
your partnership together.
Yeah.
Through odor.
Yeah.
But it's just that set of rope will probably not get used again. And which is fun. But that just means like I got to keep making a lot of rope so we could do all sorts of other stuff.
Yeah, I think that's mostly where the synthetic comes in handy. Is
Yeah.
like we don't do any sort of dirty stuff with our hemp, so I don't think we've even ever actually.
I have.
Oh, we have. Because like.
I washed my rope before.
Yeah, but we don't do it all that often unless it's like actually used, or like a new processing to a kit.
Right.
Yeah.
God, that makes me sound like such a sicko. It sounds like I have a bunch of filthy rope that just stinks.
No, it's totally fine. Like this is part of what we do. It's sweat and body oil and dead cells. Like there's nothing exactly that sexy about it, but what you did with it was.
And so like this Romanian hemp, I love this hand feel.
Right.
Much like just a lot more than this other one here.
That's my preferred rope right now is it's probably this.
Yeah, I think there's 2 different types in that big pile.
Yeah.
This is
is my earlier one.
Yeah.
And was this Moko as well?
I think you have Moko and Minawashi.
Yes.
Minawashi.
No,
yeah.
the purple is Minawashi. Or is this
I
Minawashi
think you have
also?
a natural Minawashi kit also.
This is mine. Okay, I'll have to look. That might be the Minawashi.
Like I can tell that there's 2 different types in there, but I can't remember which is which.
I'll have
but
to,
I'm pretty sure it's Moko and Minawashi.
I'll have to go in there and I can generally figure it out if I goof with it.
And I can't get over the color of jute though. It is my favorite of the colors of them.
Yep, just that natural.
Because like the hemp, I mean the linen comes out looking more like this, like this hemp, this like oatmeal-y heather kind of color, but with a lot more sheen. Like it looks kind of like shiny, which is cool and unique. But like just the golds and browns that you get from jute. Yeah, it's like this is what rope is.
It's a plant. It's a grass. Crumbs is like, what are you playing with over there? Do I get to play with those? I want to play with those.
Because I'm the Beastmaster, we have trained the animals to leave the rope alone.
That's a must. I'm surprised that you don't have very much like dog or cat hair on your rope. That is like a perpetual battle for me. Even though I don't use it for anything else, but like.
Yeah. Well, it's been in storage for not quite storage, but
It's been collecting dust lying around in various rooms.
No, we usually have something on top of it, so it's not collecting dust. But it's been mostly stored up, but when we do have the rope space set up, they know that they're not allowed in that space.
Right. I know you've done really well with that. I just carry I keep a lot of lint removers in my rope bag.
All the time. Well, because especially after you end up doing stuff, you're covered in fibers and...
Yeah.
Right, it's like that. I always thought like I could treat my rope or make my rope a certain way that it'll stop doing that, and
it's just part of the
like,
territory.
Nope. If I want to go all synthetic, sure, but God, I just sound like a snob. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. You're with fellow rope snobs here.
Yeah, but I'm not like a hard. I used to be.
You used to.
I used to be.
I mean, but that was also conditioning from the social circle you were in.
Yeah, now I don't give a fuck. That is true. The hyperfixating on I noticed that your line was like 1/4 of an inch off from yesterday. I was getting that.
I think that's one of the benefits of like not being too like keeping a lot of it to myself and in the bedroom for so long. I never really experienced too much of that.
Yeah.
But I just want people to tie however they want to tie with whatever they want to tie, and then have the time to like nerd out on the shit they love. And like I'm gonna nerd out on this right now.
We've done like a performance rope, like in front of crowds.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
It's a lot of fun.
The best was in New York when we were at Paddles.
Which closed recently.
They did?
Oh.
Yeah, they closed.
That's too bad.
Paddles is gone. They had their farewell party on June 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. I'm sure it's similar to what a lot of people are dealing with of landlords just
Yeah.
refusing to
I think that's.
extend leases.
I think like there's a threshold was going through that. I think like
Yeah,
8 or 9
Sanctuary.
months ago. And Sanctuary too.
Yeah.
But Sanctuary's fine, right?
No, Sanctuary's moving to Gardena.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they as of today, yesterday they had to turn in all their keys.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Ooh,
But they're owning their space in Gardena. It's theirs.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That is
so it's
fantastic.
like worth it, fucking worth it. And it'll have parking.
That's
It's gonna
wow.
have parking.
That's huge.
But yeah, Threshold had some issues.
But I think they're back to
Yeah,
normal.
they're fine.
Somebody
They're back
came
to
in
normal.
and like, yeah.
They had a lot of ADA complaints and
Right.
a couple other issues. Some drama with the board.
I think that problem's been going on with that board forever, though, right?
Oh
It
yeah,
never really-
and it's gonna happen in any area where there's people in charge. As far as I know, like they were hiring up and have hired a bunch of new people, so I think they're taking it in stride, getting set up at the new place, like
Wow.
as much as they want to. They have a GoFundMe set up for like help us move and help us set up the new space, but like the fact that Mistress Melissa is able to fucking buy the place,
That's huge.
like that's awesome. It's interesting. Seems like there's going to be a lot of
A lot.
changes in the LA scene
I think so too. Can we
because
unpause
Laird
this?
Assad
We can
didn't
unpause this,
survive,
Yeah, they didn't survive, but like, in like the new.
which is thank fucking God.
I mean, I'm glad you said. I'm on a podcast for the first time. I didn't know what I could share, but yeah, thank fucking God.
It's like I never went there because I have never heard anything positive coming out of there. So
I think that's. I mean, it's just like a new. It sounds so cheesy, but there's just like a new definition or like a new era of BDSM coming up now. That's very, very different than what it was when I was young. But when I learned like in the late '90s, early 2000s, like it was a very different. Just a very different scene and culture altogether.
because they tried to make it a goth club, but they keep on doing all of these things. It's a bunch of old white men in charge that
Exactly.
just want to keep younger and younger girls coming in.
And like not keeping up with any sort of like what other cultural changes are going on, so that if you do actually want to be a daddy, what's going to make you a good fucking daddy?
Yeah.
They don't want to get into any of that stuff. Like,
No,
and
they
so
just
it's
want to
like
continue to abuse their
they want that
place of power.
that abusive culture benefits them much more than them trying to change their culture, or like what they're used to.
So, very happy that they did not survive the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they would have gone down otherwise, because people will always support something that they don't know the actual bullshit behind, or don't care to say that, hey, that's not okay.
Right, and not to say that, you know, like I think that's sort of the issues that were there and that were perpetrated there, we see kind of still everywhere.
It's in every social circle.
But there's a very different like type of awareness, I think, coming up in the scene right now, or has been for about the past 10 years, that I've noticed.
Yeah.
That
like when we've talked about trying to figure out what community would look like to us going forward, it's like, do I want to be a community leader? No, but I want to have community around me. So it doesn't seem like I get much of a choice. It has to be like a, if you build it, they will come. But
Yeah.
I think for me, I want to build it in a way that, like, I'm not on a pedestal. I'm not infallible. I'm not perfect. I want you to feel safe and comfortable going to someone to say that I did something to hurt you, or whatever that is, because the experiences we've had, that's not there.
I don't like having, like, feeling like I have to be a community leader because the community or the culture I'm around, like, just doesn't feel great to me.
Yeah.
Because it takes so much energy, and like I'd rather put that energy of like being this sort of kink person I want to be, like with my partner or my partners, whatever it is I'm in with.
Yeah.
It's like being a community leader takes a different sort of energy, and I don't always have the energy to not that I ever have been one, but like I've taught classes, and you know, like you put in that much energy and try to put in that much energy in a great relationship, and I haven't been able to make those two work.
It's not sustainable.
Right, and I'm at an age now where it's like, when I get a great relationship going, like that needs to be my focus. That needs to be such a big part, and because I'm like kind of, I don't know, like maybe a little paranoid about like getting like, oh, I like keeping my lives separate, my vanilla and my kink life separate. That like, I don't know if I want to be like stepping out there and like, hey, I know this shit is really wrong, but like, and the community's got to change. But there's a part of me still is like, I don't want to have to fucking deal with this at work.
Right. Why do I have to be the person to fight that battle?
Yeah, and like, can I just have like spend some time being in a really good relationship or in a really good community for a while?
Yeah.
And then maybe like step that up, but I don't know. Like it sounds kind of not pulling your weight sort of thing.
And that's sort of like, for the longest time, we had been talking to or trying to like coordinate with Roy Lynn at Trustology, and for one reason or another, usually it's probably on our part, we just kind of like drop the ball or don't follow through. But there hasn't been like, there hasn't been a time when there wasn't like a follow up from the other side.
Mm-hmm.
It began to feel, or is feeling, like we're, beating a dead horse. I don't know. It's like, what am I just trying to say? It's like we're just like being too pushy.
Yeah.
So we mentioned it once. I think that was like
It's been more than once, but we have brought up like, we'll help coordinate, events coming back and, whatever that looks like. Let us know what to schedule, what, how we can help, and then she's excited about it when we talk, and then just nothing happens after that.
It's just, I think overall it's just a lot to do.
Yeah.
Like like she's running I think 2 businesses too, and so
Yeah.
it's like
she's busy.
and not to say like that I don't know what's going on or anything. It's just like trying to build a strong community in kink just takes way more energy than I think than I even imagine.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the way most of them started. The one that we had been a member of was created, I mean, I was one of the founders at that time, but it was like originally created by like these other 2 people, this couple, who were just looking to like, learn more about the rope and inviting close friends over to to his place. And then all of a sudden, like more and more people started showing up. I was like, oh, we should like maybe make this available to other people on FET. And that's where kind of, and I met them when they were, before it all started. I was not I was lobbying for a different name, but I forgot what that was. But
Ventura Dynamics or some shit like that.
Something stupid like that. That was
Which sounds like a really douchey co-working space or something, or a bad like tech startup.
Yeah,
Totally.
Ventura Dynamics.
That's fucking funny.
Totally sounds like some douchey.
It does.
tech
You need
startup.
it would come with its uniform would be like a polo shirt.
That'd be hilarious.
So
So that actually grew. That's why we realized we shouldn't be pushing in that direction, trying to revive something from that connection.
Wasn't working.
yeah.
So, we love Roy Lynn a whole bunch, but she's so busy. I think she's like working 24/7.
It's not a priority for her, and that's
And-
okay.
yeah,
so
that's fine.
And it feels different for us when it's I don't know what her lifestyle is, but I know this is our lifestyle,
Yeah.
and so it feels a lot different when it's like it's a lifestyle versus like I said, maybe it's just like a business thing that she's doing. Like it's a different sort of energy you want to devote to that.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know what I mean? It's just like I get that, and it's fine. But then it's also like I don't want to stick my neck out there and meet a whole bunch of people in the scene to try to build something. Because I've been so kind of private for so long,
Right.
I don't want to end up with like some shitty folks.
Yeah.
So like you 2 are really like, there's like 2 other people I kind of keep in contact with about this stuff other than my partner.
Who? Tell us now. We're jealous.
You have other
You
friends.
spend time with others. How dare you?
But actually a person that I had matched with and chatted with, in a previous life, matched with. I think we talked about this a little bit last time we were here.
So pre-pandemic,
Pre-pandemic.
you had matched with somebody on OKC and we're talking. Never really met in person because she was pregnant at the time.
She was very pregnant.
Yes, and then the pandemic hit. It was like she had a baby and we became shut-ins and just kind of things changed. And then last year.
Mm-hmm.
The last year was like some point like I was on Field.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
haven't.
Field,
I know what it is. I
FELD.
haven't been on it.
And she had sent me a note, just reached out, having read my profile, saying like, you know, I feel really comfortable with you know how you know phrase everything, how you're working. So we've become really good, great friends. And then like through the process of just chit chatting, blah blah blah, we made the connection. Like, wait a minute, you matched up with my partner like 3 years ago.
You're the person.
Oh, so they didn't know that you two.
No.
Yeah.
We just eventually put together that he was talking to pregnant Amber. The girl that we've been calling
Gotcha.
pregnant Amber for like 3 years. That now has a 3-year-old.
We're not gonna call her pregnant Amber anymore.
Is it because we don't have another Amber now?
Yes, we have excised all the Ambers from our life, except only one remained. Three Ambers entered the chamber. Only one remained.
Well, yeah, because you know another Amber too.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, especially
Mm-hmm.
I surely do.
Thanks for coming and hanging out and being weird with us. We really appreciate it.
We appreciate you.
I appreciate you all. I really enjoy being weird.
Yep.
There's just not a lot of places I let myself do it, so thanks a lot.
Of course.
And to all you weirdos out there, thank you for listening in. I think maybe we got 4 now. We really do appreciate you. Do check us out on weirdosonline.com. And we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Ta.
See ya.
Smash your social mores with the